I say growing food, actually no, I can't say this on camera. I'm Gaz Oakley, a chef, author and newbie grower, and I'm based in Wales in the lovely countryside, usually surrounded by sheep, but there's none here today, so it's not giving a true representation of Wales at the minute, but you've got lots of hills. Yeah, I haven't been growing long at all. It's been 3 years now, 3 growing seasons, and my garden's gradually getting bigger and bigger, and yeah, it's sort of become everything to me. I'm so grateful for getting into gardening and growing food, but my first passion, my first love was cooking. Cooked as a child with my dad, and then got my first chef's job age 15 part-time after school. Learning the skills that I use to this day, and then at 16 I went full-time. My dream was to get a Michelin star, be the youngest chef ever with a Michelin star. It didn't quite work out. I still have dreams of getting one maybe one day in the future, but yeah, I was right in the deep end in fine dining restaurants, learning my craft like a sponge, learning from the chefs around me, soaking up all that knowledge. And but fast forward today, I now have a cooking show on YouTube, and now I feel so much more connected with the food through growing it. To tell you the truth, when I was in the kitchens, we didn't really, well, I certainly didn't have the close connection as I do now with my ingredients back then, because you don't see the patience, you don't see the nurture, you don't see the time and the effort that's gone into growing the ingredients. You just get them. And obviously you're amazed when you see beautiful organic carrots or whatever, any ingredients that come into the kitchen, and you're taught not to waste a single scrap. So you do appreciate them, but you don't see that journey from seed to harvest. So you're less likely to appreciate it as much as you do when you grow them yourself. Yeah, it's been 3 years now growing food. I think that is something that I'll do for the rest of my life. I'm already sort of thinking of ways in which I can continue to grow food on the scale that I do during the summer times in the winter time. So I'm already thinking about maybe going to work at farms overseas in the winter, somewhere sunny. I love it so much. I can't put it into words how much I love growing food. Well, the initial reason I started growing food was because I wanted to gain some sort of independence and self-sufficiency after being in lockdown in London in my small apartment. I just felt like I felt helpless, and I felt I was so reliant on all the institutions that were set up, whether that's having to go to the supermarket to get my food or everything else that we're reliant on. I didn't feel like I was in control of anything. So it got to a point where I thought I have to start growing food and knowing where my food is coming from. So that was 3 years ago, and it's the same sort of mission now. It's having that independence. I love being able to harvest my dinner. I love being able to feed my family with my homegrown produce and give it to my neighbours and trade it for things that they're growing. And I want to go back to that, and I really want to encourage people to do the same. So it was that sort of motivation to be self-sufficient and less reliant on the big infrastructure that's set up. Growing food is changed the way I cook completely, because now I only plan the recipes when I know what's ready to harvest. So right now I know I've got a load of beetroot, so I need to make something with it. What am I going to do with them? And it's exciting to then brainstorm a load of beetroot recipes, and that is how I want to live. And when I have my restaurant, I want the menu to be based off what's there and what's ready to harvest only. So it's completely changed how I cook. I tend not to overcomplicate things now when I'm cooking, because I want the vegetables and the produce to shine. So try not to do too much with it. Yeah, the feeling of harvesting produce that I've grown and then cooking with it right away is beautiful. So you go from one really calming aspect of growing it to another calming aspect of cooking. The two go hand in hand, and now I feel like totally zen. There's nothing more healing and relaxing when I can just step away from it and get into the garden. It's like a total reset, and just you know, a day of walking around barefoot in the garden and having my hands in the soil is enough of a sort of therapeutic relaxation thing that I do just to get my mind back on track. It's beautiful. I think just keep things simple. So, you know, let's talk about, you just mentioned runner beans. The best way to eat runner beans, in my opinion, is just to snack on them. They just taste so fresh and delicious. But what I love to do with those is just get a griddle pan really hot and just slightly char them and drizzle over a little chili oil or something like that. And, you know, that's all it really needs. And if you can cook over fire, amazing, because, you know, that wood-fired smoky element will add a delicious twist on any of your ingredients. So then you don't need to add anything on top. You just need to sort of grill them, and that's it, barbecue them. So just keep them simple. With kohlrabi, you mentioned, I just grate that and add some lemon juice and some seasoning. It's like a lovely, refreshing slaw. Keep things simple. Add some herbs from the garden. Find a herb that you really like and throw it into a dish, and you know you're going to like it because you like the herb already. So keep things simple. Cooking outside is that I was sort of forced into it because my kitchen isn't suitable to film in for my YouTube channel. So at first I was a total city boy and novice cooking over fire. It was funny looking back at those old videos, but now it's something that I feel is almost innate in a human experience, you know, cooking over fire, and it draws everyone in. But I love the fact that I can just harvest and then walk 2 meters and then I can put that ingredient on the fire and cook it. And if you've got space for a little fire pit or a barbecue or something like that, get it in the garden because you can instantly cook things. Recently, we just harvested a load of potatoes and I turned to my cameraman and friend Tom and just said, "Oh, shall I just roast these on the fire?" And he's like, "Yeah, all right then." And we did that, and it was like the most delicious potato we'd ever eaten. So having that portable kitchen or fire pit right by you, I think is essential in all gardens because that smoke, people do so much. You know, there's all these electronic gadgets to incorporate smoke into food these days, but when you just cook over fire, it's naturally getting smoked. You know, I've been inspired by your second garden, or your huge farm. Actually, I really would love a bit of flat land because I'm on this hill to sort of increase my growing potential and also welcome people to the area that I grow, because I'm sure, you know, like you do, Hugh, you get people from all around the world asking, can I come and help out on the farm, or can I come and help you out? And that would be amazing to welcome people. So I'd definitely like to expand. I'm not thinking that's going to be next year, but yeah, you're always learning, aren't you? That's something that I've realised, even being with Charles Dowding last week, it's like realising that he's been growing for 40 years and he's still learning to this day. But I think I want to grow more flowers, way more flowers. I want to have a real dedicated, massive herb garden. I can't believe that I haven't got a herb garden. It's really silly. I just have herbs dotted around in pots, but why haven't I got a massive patch of herbs? I want to expand my terrace garden slightly. The chickens won't be too happy, but I want to do that. And I really want to grow some proper melons next year. I've got a few watermelon, but they don't seem to be doing brilliantly, so a load of melons, I think. Yeah, the chickens, they're rescue hens, so they're over 18 months old, and at that point they get sent to slaughter in the egg industry because they're thought to not produce eggs as frequently as they should do, which is crazy to think, because since they got here they've been laying an egg every day. Now they're only laying 3 a day because I think they're escaping and they're laying them in the woods, but that's fine. But I've just been giving them to my friends, family, neighbours, postmen, whoever. I haven't eaten them because, you know, I think that a plant-based diet is really helping me thrive as a person. It's not for everyone. I don't think there's a diet that is suitable for everyone out there. I think everyone has their own issues that they need to deal with, and diet is an important part to play in people's lives and making them feel good. But for me, it makes me feel good, so if it's not broken, there's no point fixing it at the minute, so I just stick to it. And when you're eating organic produce that you grow myself, I actually have never felt better ever. So yeah, I'm happy with where I'm at with my diet. My dream going forward would be to, and this is down the line because it's going to take a lot of organisation, but my dream has always been to have my own restaurant. But now, since getting into growing food, it's changed because I'm going to need to have the farm on site. And that's hard to find, a restaurant with suitable land near it to grow the food. The trouble, I think, I want to spend most of the time in the garden rather than in the kitchen. But I think I'll create a concept where I can then invite people to come and learn how to grow food, bring experts in like yourself, Hugh, and hopefully you can do like a master class from time to time, and then be able to serve the people that are visiting some lovely food that I've grown. And I wouldn't want to do it on the scale of what I first had in mind, which was like 100 covers a day in the center of a big city, really working hard in the kitchens and everyone working for me, having to do the 80-hour weeks again. I wouldn't want to do that again. I want this to be like a real relaxing, tranquil experience for not only the people that work with me, but the guests that come. So, we'll walk them around the gardens first. We'll harvest the ingredients together. They spend the day, they're having an experience with me, and then I serve the food. But I'll probably get to a point where I always joke that, like, how tasty peas are when you pick them, and it's like, if you leave them for longer than 10 minutes, almost that sweetness is just slightly dialed down a bit. I want to pick some peas and then put them on a plate and just be like, here's your starter. Like, do nothing to them. I'll probably just get to a point where I'm just serving raw veg on a plate because I'm so enthusiastic about how tasty the produce tastes right from picking that probably be no cooking involved. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, that's the master plan in the future, a place where I can invite people for a real experience of growing and cooking. Big mistakes in growing. Well, to be honest with you, just before I moved here, I had a crash course in the YouTube University of growing food. Thankfully, finding your videos, Hugh, and the other amazing gardeners on YouTube, I felt like I had a wealth of experience, and that's the beauty of YouTube. And I'm so grateful for your videos, Hugh, and everyone else that shares growing food, because it's a life skill that so many people, I think, would improve so many people's lives. It's really improved mine growing food. So the fact that there's people like yourself, Hugh, putting this free knowledge out there is incredible. So thank you, first thing. But in terms of mistakes I made, well, I started off with just one raised bed and I planted about 20 different things in there. I had all lines, and then, as you know, when it all grows, it just all takes over one another, and I was scared to sort of thin things out because I didn't want to cut my babies, it felt. So, I had all these twisted carrots and tiny parsnips and whatnot, so that wasn't very smart. I feel it's been quite smooth, and actually, I don't think anything is a mistake. So you just learn not to do that next time. So it's always just a lesson, I think. But I say growing food. Actually, no, I can't say this on camera, but it comes natural. Growing food, it feels like a natural thing to do. So I've just taken to it. I've just really taken to it. And people are surprised when they come to my garden. Even in the second year, they were surprised at where I was at, considering it was only my second year of growing. But I just say to people, it comes natural. So I'm definitely one of these people that is like very determined, and when I set myself a goal, I will do everything I can to do it to the best of my ability. So, whether that's cooking or training or growing food, I really could have just settled with a couple of beds, but I want to grow loads of food. So I really invest time and any spare time I have, I'm out in the garden trying to get better and grow more and grow tastier food. But what I really realized I could have done is, back when I lived in London, I had a small balcony. I could have grown an abundance of food just in buckets. I just thought you needed a big space to grow food, but what I've learned is that you can grow ingredients in pretty much any vessel really, as long as you have good soil and some sunlight and you can nurture the plants. I just wish I got into it sooner and you had that green finger back when I had my place in London. It probably would have given me some mental clarity, just being able to go outside and pick some kale that's in a plant pot. So I think that sometimes if people are new to gardening, they see, you know, a lovely garden like this or your amazing garden, Hugh, sometimes people will think they need a colossal space, but you know, you showed on numerous times that you can grow in abundance just in a small 1 meter by 2 meter bed, and it can be done. And I really want to inspire people to do that in their gardens at home or on their balconies. So what I'm trying to show people and tell people is that they need to turn their lawns into farms.